Well, good evening. I'm Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypnoacuity. Hypnoacuity is hypnotherapy, but hypnoacuity quiets a thinking memory mind and allows you to expand out of where you've been in life. And tonight I want to talk about emotions and the body. When I first got into personal growth or expansion, I was always talking about the mind, the mind, the mind. Well, the mind's in a bind because the body and the emotions control the mind. And when we're having an event when we're young, we feel the emotions, and as soon as them emotions get excited, good, bad, or indifferent, the brain takes a snapshot and that becomes a memory. So that's why when somebody has a snapshot of whatever happened, that is the way it is, because that snapshot is their long-term memory. And when that fires off, that's it. And then the body, in an addiction or something that happens, it gets the chemical rush from the brain and it remembers that feeling. And then the feelings, they control our life. And also the life then becomes stuck in that memory. And a lot of our memories come from our childhood and from the womb to 12 years old, but a lot of them are from the womb to 3 because the subconscious mind's in total. Your life runs off your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is your body. And man, when I awakened to all this and I look back and from the womb to 12 years old and really just visited and admitted to the way my parents got along and the way my life was, that's the way I lived my life. And, there's turmoil and turbulence in everybody's life. And that is where I've got stuck, and a lot of things got ingrained in me. And then the pain become ingrained, and then I thought life was a pain and a struggle. We teach ourselves struggle and suffering because we read it in books. And we always think this is this, and this, and we think and know. And once that thinking and knowing becomes a memory, the opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs and ancestral anchors become our way of life. And I really started to witness this and notice this. And it's only about admitting that it's going on in your life. You can expand out of it. And don't get into the trauma. Oh my God, this and this and this and this. No, that's just bullshit. Trauma, people use trauma and drama for sympathy. And once you can get it, I did. I really admit it. But something I'm going to share with you, all your life events can be broke down to 12 words. It's like going across, having a flat tire, going across the median all the way to going across the median, almost hitting the semi, then coming back across, almost hitting the pillar on the overpass, and then come to the rest on the side of the road. Everything happened in there was just a part of the event, but really you had a flat tire, change the flat tire, on your way. 9 words, no drama. But we like telling the drama and trauma, I know I did, to make myself look good and feel good. Well, them embellishing them stories caused inner hell within me. So as I opened up to this and got through the emotional ick and all this, and I'm starting to understand, I feel it all occurring right in here. I really do. I feel it occurring. And when it's starting to occur, I feel it here. And once that happens, it's up through and all the chemicals and then the representation, everything gets in gear. And then I have no filter on my mouth. And then, whoop, whatever has to be said is going to be said, good, bad, or indifferent. But it's really about understanding and comprehending, not learning yourself, comprehending what is happening inside yourself. And that's something I've really opened up to in the last month, is comprehend over learn. I comprehend this to expand of this. And, once them emotions are kicked in gear and all the representations, we get into habitual sabotage. We're a servant to our habits, emotions, thinking, knowing, memory, opinions, and viewpoints until we break out of that. And it's a bust the rust on the bolts that hold you into yesterday and let that colt within you run, canonizing optimistic luminary trend-setting savvy to move forward. You got to get some sassy tenacity and move your life forward. And that's where it really becomes, and it's something I've really expanded up in the last 10, 12 years, actually. Use a vocabulary that is like unleash, unlock, let fly, spontaneous. Get out of the I can control this, manage this. Well, you control nothing, manage nothing but your old habits. And then when something out here, everybody says set boundaries, set boundaries. Don't set a boundary that you're afraid to walk into. If you don't want to hear it, just say no, thank you, and walk away, and then do the inner query. I've got one boundary. It's no thank you or screw that. I'm not going to set a boundary and create a new fear, and a fear is a memory, and that boundary becomes a memory, and then you become stuck in that memory, and that memory sticks with you for life. You want to set a boundary that's liberating and allows you to query what you are really you don't want to walk into that day. And I don't like using the word don't. So, but you have see, we're never in fear, we're apprehensive. And once you're apprehensive, you can ascend and move through it. But we are so emotionally attached to events, but we are still anchored to our ancestor survival mode, thinking, knowing, memory, viewpoints, opinions, and all that. And we're trying to move forward, but we're anchored in our flight and freeze. It's flight, fight, or freeze representations. That just didn't want to come out. But anyway, and then we become stuck in that thinking mind, and we really become stuck in that memory. And that is something we really become stuck in, is the memory. And that memory is not only in the mind, that memory is in the body and in the emotions. And so when we're trying to get rid of something like pain, smoking sensation, or anything, it's the body, the memories, the emotions, the feelings, and letting go of the event of that. And sometimes that's where hypnoacuity or hypnotherapy, whenever. I like hypnoacuity because I like the liberation. But you really got to expand through it. But addictions is how the body felt through the addiction. And that's where it is. Because that body, that subconscious mind is looking to go back to that feeling good. And that is where it is. The mind, the frontal cortex, your creative brain or the innovative brain, it understands what to do. But the subconscious mind is the body, and we are addicted in the body. And when you get ready to expand out of an addiction, there is many, many things that's got to occur to allow you to move forward, such as smoking. Smoking and drugs and addiction are your best friend at that time. Not in real life, but in the subconscious mind, it's your best friend. Like smoking, you got to, when you want to release the smoking or discharge the smoking habit, you're a servant to the habit, first of all. You got to admit that. But when you're really trying to let it go and discharge it and dissolve it from your life, you got to find something to do with your hands. You got to find something to replace the cigarette in your mouth. And you got to find and discover a new best friend that you trust through anything in life. And that is the biggest thing, is finding that next best friend. And then we defend it. And we defend our habits, our viewpoints, opinions, thinking, and knowing. And when something new arrives, we stay stuck in the memories of it. And that is where we really become locked and blocked and stubborn. Listening will expand you out of it. But like me, I was too stubborn in my knowing, and too hard-headed in my thinking to move forward. Because if I said it was it, I was right. And I got bit in the ass more times with being right than anything I ever know. I used to laugh at that. Whenever I did something and say it has to be done this way, it went wrong every time. When somebody says, let's do it this way, well, pretty soon I'd take a step, oh, and I'd stop. So we're going to do it your way because there's a reason why. And if you become hard-headed and a know-it-all in your current situation, you're going to be stuck in that forever. I was. And here's the thing about life. Everything in your life you created, and you are in your current situation because of your thinking, knowing, memory, mind, opinions, viewpoints, ancestors, and your childhood, and many things. But everything comes down to in here. And the outside world did zilch to you. I'm just going to tell you that now. It's your thinking, memory, mind, opinions, viewpoints, and having to look good and worried about what other people think. All that plays out. And the reason I can say that, it happened to me. And that's where the memories of the emotions thing and the mind and the feelings and all that. And for me, this is something that's getting really easy for me to really express. I was never the sharpest tack in the schoolroom, but the teachers, they had their pets. And if they could, and back when I went to school, if they could ridicule or criticize you, try to get you to do better, that's what they did. But when they do that, they left an image and words, and that event stayed with me. And when you have to go back and do that, just go back and admit it happened. Don't go in there with, oh my God. No, don't make it a drama. Just admit it happened. And where do I expand out of? And it's like I got a new deal for like blame. Don't blame the outside world for anything. If somebody did something unsavory to you, well, they've got a karmic debt. But always remember this: you had the courage, confidence, and audacity to experience it and go through it, and you walked out the other side. You may have been a little bit, but you walked out the other side. But remember it this way: how can you appreciate yourself for having the courage, audacity to walk out the other side and stroll on through life? Always remember, appreciate yourself more than anything in the world. That gives you the value of your heart and soul, and that'll move you forward. But my new definition of blame. Blame is, I expand out of blame as being lousy at managing everything to expand of bold, liminal, articulating, majestic energy expanding through life. Because when you let go of the sham of blame and shame, you move yourself forward in a bold, right way. And that is what we're really doing when you let go and expand out of the memories of the emotions. You're letting go of the blame and the shame and the damn and all the gamut and damn it you run through your inner self. It's really about awakening yourself to enjoy life. And that's what this is all about. And it's really get into the simplicity of just it being in the flow of letting go to glow of genuine love, optimizing wisdom to expand through life. It's the clarity, wisdom, insight, understanding, innovation, imagination that will expand you through life. See, wisdom, imagination, inspiration, insight. There's no books, there's nothing out here for it. Because life is a guide that guides you to the chaos and the challenges and move you forward. But after that, it becomes a savvy smack and a trial and dare. It's a trial of tribulation to expand out of it and dares you to dance amazingly rebellious every day, enjoying life. And I am Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom, Hypnoacuity. And my website is mycowboywisdom.com. My email is robert@mycowboywisdom.com. And my website is mycowboywisdom.com. But this is about liberation, expansion, and disconnecting anything that activates your thinking, memory, mind, and your frozen in time representation. That's what Cowboy Wisdom Hypnoacuity is about. And I want to thank you for being here, and I'm going to say goodnight.